Hi Dee, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Good, good, good. How are you?
I'm good. How was your how was that? What class were you at?
What class?
Yeah,
This
didn't you have
is
a
evening,
class?
man. This is 8 p.m. What class do you mean?
Didn't you say you had something in the evening? Like
No, no, it was just our syndicate team having a going to bowling
oh
at
right.
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
it was done like few hours ago. I
Were
already did
you
shopping, dinner. I already did everything. How are you?
were you spending the prize money from yesterday?
We are going to have a dinner at Rosemary's house. We're gonna use the money to just order takeout, or
Oh,
maybe go to
nice.
casinos. Or
That's
go
so
to like,
nice. Yeah.
how
You
about
guys were
you?
second, right?
Yeah,
Hmm. All right. Are you going to Antoinette's party tonight? The pub crawl thing?
I'm not sure. Do you wanna go?
I'm kind of I'm done. I'm kind of tired. I think I'll
Same.
skip it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to take a rest, and tomorrow I'm going windsurfing, so I
Oh,
need to
nice. Where are you going?
Brighton.
Brighton.
Brighton,
Okay.
yeah,
How far is that?
like an hour by train. It's just it's just gonna be in a reservoir.
Okay.
We're gonna just like have a beginner session, and
Right.
because I'm a beginner, I don't know anything about windsurfing, so we're just gonna go there for half a day.
Is it
It's
with
gonna be
the
fun.
Imperial Club?
Yeah,
Kite Club.
yeah,
Oh, very nice. Okay. And so do you have to pay to join the club?
yeah. I think you have to pay 25 pounds for the trip. Not sure if you need to pay at this stage because it's still kind of early.
Right.
So maybe tomorrow, like if you still want to join, and then you have to pay more.
Oh, that's pretty
Mhm.
cheap. Maybe I'll join you on the next one then.
Do you like windsurfing?
I've never tried it.
Come, yeah, you can join. Yeah, I
Yeah.
never tried it.
Yeah. Sounds fun. I feel like most of us Asians, our
Yeah,
hobbies sort of are limited to the regular stuff like going to play badminton or going to play football or watching a movie. And over here, everything is so much more diverse.
yeah. I feel like they're really adventurous on stuff,
Yeah.
and they want to like, challenge, their limits. I kind of
But
like that.
you were telling me that you came to the UK around 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Was that it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I came to the UK around 8 years ago.
And you were 16 then.
No, I was 14. I'm
What?
22. I'm 23 actually, but yeah, I was about 14 when I came here.
Is that very typical of someone to do at in China? I imagine it must be quite a big decision. Not a lot of parents like to send their kids away. Not a lot of kids that age like to go away from their homes, that too in a foreign country.
Yeah, I think it's quite unusual for parents to send Chinese kids to like abroad at this young age.
Yeah,
Maybe like 17, 18 is more not normal, but
yeah,
14 is definitely like at the younger like end.
yeah.
Um, but I do see some Chinese kids in my course when I was 14.
So
Yeah,
what were your last 8 years in the UK like?
it was fun. It was great. At the beginning, it was a bit scary, to be honest, because my parents were away. And I just broke up with my first boyfriend
Yeah,
at like 14. And I was like, I'm going
those
to
don't count.
yeah, like first love, that kind of thing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like I just broke up with him. He was just this random guy, but I had a crush on. And then I moved to the UK at 14.
Yeah,
Everything changed, completely changed.
yeah,
And I went to a do you know I went to a girls' boarding school?
right. Yeah, I think you told me. earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was quite strict.
quite strict. How was your English when you moved here?
Not really good.
Yeah,
We didn't have really like we didn't have English class in China when I was like 10. Before I was 12. We didn't
oh,
have an English class.
okay.
Mm,
I can imagine it must have been so tough. It's,
yeah,
I mean, I can't even imagine going to a country like, France or Germany and trying to speak the local language. It's and just trying to pick it up, while you're living there. All right. And
yeah.
plus the English accent is can be quite tough to pick up.
English accent is hard. I even right now I don't have British accent, and my English is not perfect.
Yeah.
And I've been here for 8 years, so it's tough.
You picked it up you picked it up while living here. So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So you speak Mandarin and you speak English. Do
I
you
speak
speak any other languages?
I speak Cantonese, which is
Cantonese?
a language like I learned when I moved to
Okay.
Macau.
Right. Okay.
Mm.
Oh, is it very different from Mandarin?
Mm. The sound is completely different. Like the phonetics and the sound are different, but
Yeah.
the spellings are like the writing style is quite similar. One is traditional Chinese, and another one is simplified Chinese.
Okay. All right.
Mm.
So tell me, we spoke briefly about how you started a business,
Mm.
and this was in China or was this in Macau?
This was in England.
This was in England.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was.
Right. So, I mean, I'm not sure I fully understood it when you told me
Mm.
about it. So why don't you just like tell us a little bit about what it was about and how did you get the idea? How did you get started?
Okay, let me
Yeah.
explain. So during the pandemic, me and my friends met in the uni. I met in the uni, kind of
Right.
met up and joined this competition to create a business for 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 the UK disabled community. Because my
Right.
friend he's a disabled person,
Mm-hmm.
and then he found it quite lonely in the UK because he cannot find like many friends, many
Yeah.
resources as a Chinese speaker. So he just reached out to me saying, "Oh, what do you think about this idea that we build a website that we help disabled people connect uh,
Yeah.
and find resources for them?"
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And then back then I didn't really have any ideas, and but I really wanted to join the competition, just to practice or to, because it's fun.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, sure, like let's do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started to reach out to people, see if they're interested, and then more people from other universities joined us.
Yeah.
So we had people who's responsible for technology,
Right.
setting up the website, and people who are trying to reach out to the government, trying to
Mm-hmm.
um, the cover like the letter that give you authority basically.
And how did you find these people that started helping you?
I reached out in a Chinese community.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
schools, Chinese international student, we have a community in each school,
Right.
Chinese New Union, and then
Yeah.
we reached out to UCL Kings, Manchester, Leeds, Bristol, yeah,
Right.
and then
Oh,
people interested just signed up and joined us.
very nice. And so what happened next then? So you started building and what was the solution exactly that you were
This
trying to build?
the solution was just build a website and have connection with UK the government. My friend is pretty resourceful actually
Yeah.
because he actually have connections from the government side.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so he's basically trying to get their support and put the resources directly onto our website,
Right.
both Chinese and English. So if we need help, for example, um, to get connections with the charity,
Yeah.
then we can go get the charity resources through the government that we want to.
So was it like a informational website where if you really wanted to find out more stuff about
Exactly. It is
uh,
information and technology website.
okay, okay,
Mhm.
right. And so it was basically like a blog then. Is that right? And then
Like a forum.
like
Exactly.
like a forum. Okay. And so how did you and so fine. So you set up the website, you put in the content. And
Mhm.
so did you do anything after that to sort of grow it or get people to start reading it, interact with you?
That was when we find out that we don't have enough connections, like we don't have enough resources in the UK.
Hmm.
Because it's easy to build a website, but it's hard to find the right audience.
Yeah,
Because it's hard to find who are the disabled people in the UK
yeah,
without going through a proper research.
yeah,
To
right.
do that research, you need to have firsthand experiences, but none of us work in the sector.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
so, so we were trying to reach out to local charities, the disabled community.
yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, didn't go that well because of some like bureaucratic issues or like low efficiency. Not a lot of people reached out to us. Um, yeah.
What do you mean by bureaucratic issues?
Um, so they are saying like because our website is just like still at the very basic stage. They
Mm.
wanted us to show them what we have come up so far, and they think it's still too basic and too small.
Yeah,
They don't want to work with us unless we have a decent amount of users, and then so that they can see, oh, it's actually feasible in the long run.
you're talking about the different charities and NGOs that you reach out to.
Yeah. So I guess it's not bureaucratic issues. It's more like
Yeah.
um,
Just
people wanted
inertia.
to
Yeah,
have a sense of security and possible like to see the possible future. Like they can see the profit
yeah.
as you talk
All
about.
right. All right. But it's still a nice little project that you started in your undergrad. I'm sure you must have learned quite a lot from it.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And so when did you graduate? Just last year?
Yeah, this year actually, this summer.
Oh, oh yes. Oh, so do you mean you will be graduating this year in December
No, no,
from
no.
your undergrad?
I graduated this summer in June.
This summer in June. Right, right. I
Yeah.
misheard. I misheard you. And you studied what business in your undergrad as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so why did you decide to come to Imperial? You could have, gone what's the split between your cohort from your undergrad? What kind of things are you all doing right now?
Um, so a lot of my cohort went on a holiday already. They
Yeah.
wanted to take a break before going to find a job.
Yeah.
I initially wanted to do that as well, to take a break, maybe a gap year before applying for jobs or going to master.
Hmm.
But then dad kind of told me that you need to do a master immediately while you still have the energy. And because if you don't go to master straight away from university, and then if you take a break or go
Hmm.
to find a job, you probably would back in for a master. And
Mm.
then I yeah,
All right. Yeah.
and then I
And so
started
did you have a
just
sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
and then I started looking for masters in the UK
Yeah.
and then the US. And I was like, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to do I wanted to apply for marketing initially
Yeah.
because my previous experience was mainly in marketing. So
Right.
yeah, I wanted to go in marketing. But then my friends who work in marketing told me don't narrow your choice just on marketing.
Mm-hmm.
She said you might want to explore something else to widen your skill set.
Right.
Yeah,
Of course. Of course. I
because
see.
if you go into marketing and then or go anything like consulting or finance, if you just go to do that, then it means you're gonna do that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna do it for the rest of your life, but it kind of dedicate you to that role. Then
Yeah.
you're kind of stuck in that sector,
Yeah.
and you kind of automatically go into marketing.
Yeah.
But then I want to find other possibilities, maybe innovation, maybe entrepreneurship, because I had a business back then, and I was trying to find more resources for my business. And I think
Which
Imperial
business
might
are you
be
talking about?
the information technology website for the disabled people.
Yeah. 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 Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that one. So that's why I chose to do innovation and entrepreneurship.
I see. Okay. So, do you have any entrepreneurial ambitions? Particularly, are you looking to start a business in the next maybe couple of years, or are you looking to sort of work in a particular job? What's your, let's say, aim for the next 1 to 2 years?
Mm. I think I aim to work in consulting right
Okay.
now, consulting FMCG right now, because
Okay.
FMCG, so like it's like a fast moving consumer product.
No, no, no. I understand. I think you also said consulting.
Consulting, yes.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do consulting.
Okay. All right.
So like that business, the entrepreneur I set up before, kind of made me realize it's not that easy to set up a business in the UK if you
Mhm.
don't have enough resources. If
If
you
you
know
don't
what
have what?
if
Sorry?
you don't have enough resources.
Yeah, that's true. Also, as an immigrant, it's always tougher, with your visa situation to be
Yeah,
navigating entrepreneurship.
exactly. Because if you apply for entrepreneurship visa, it means you can't work. You cannot work
Yeah,
part time, and then
exactly.
that's scary to not have a steady income.
Have you heard of
So
something called scale up visa?
no, I've never heard of it.
It just came out 2 months ago, and it's this new visa by the UK government, which basically, if you work for a scale up, and scale ups are
Mm-hmm.
particular companies that are categorized by the UK government. So they have a whole list of like 20,000, 30,000 different companies that are classified as scale ups. So if you work for them and if they sponsor you, then you get something called a scale up visa, which allows you after 6 months to be self employed or to have an additional source of income. So let's say you're working at a scale up and at the same time you're working on your startup and you start, generating some revenues from that. So you would be doing legally nothing wrong and you could still be like earning from your startup.
Yeah,
And after 6 months of working at the scale up, if you choose to leave the company and work full time on your startup, you could do that as well.
yeah. But can you work for the scale up and also work on your own company?
You can do two things. It basically says that there is a 6 month period when you're on the scale up visa for which you have to compulsorily work for the scale up. After
Mm.
6 months, you can be self employed if you want to, or you can have a second source of income if you want to have that as well. So there are no restrictions that a traditional work visa would have for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then after 6 months, if you still want to work for the accelerator, you can still do that
Yeah. If you want
while you.
to scale up, you keep going, keep working for them.
So does that like would that be a conflict of interest?
No, it won't be. So you can continue working for the scale up as well as work on your own thing or be earning revenues from your own thing. Both can
Mhm.
continue simultaneously.
Okay, both.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. You should Google this. I was actually quite motivated by this visa that because like I also was wondering the same sort of things that you were.
Yeah,
And so a scale up visa definitely is very, very helpful.
I will definitely look it up. Thank you for
Yeah.
letting me know. This is
Yeah.
quite helpful.
Yeah, it
And
is.
then
I was quite surprised because I had done a bit of research before coming to Imperial, and then I did some research just a week or so ago, and I realized that this is a
mm,
new development. So I've been basically telling everyone that I meet about the scale of visa.
but like if you need to work for a scalar company
Scale
for
up
the
company.
visa,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the tough part. So you have to try and find the right type of scale up company that you want to work for.
Okay, I see. I will
Yeah.
look it up. Mhm.
All right. So
Nice.
you mentioned consulting and you mentioned FMCG. So why are you
Mhm.
particularly interested in those two areas?
Well, because for consulting, it's like a fast-pacing environment, right? And I love that. I love changing like projects every month, and I get to travel, which is also nice.
Yeah.
Um, for FS, yeah, for for consulting, it's that you have a long working hour. That's the only cons, but the pros is really good too, and you get well paid.
Um,
To be
yeah,
honest.
you are very well paid. And also, I think that if you go and work in a slightly smaller consulting firm, like maybe not the big top ones, but
Yeah,
the other ones, they do offer great work-life balance for, so you may earn, a little bit less, but you'll have more time on your hands. Because
mm.
I was talking to a few consulting companies that came to our careers fair. Do you remember that happened a
Yeah,
few weeks ago? And so
yeah. So,
and so I spoke to a few of them, and they mentioned that I asked them very frankly. I said, "Tell me what's the trade-off between you and going to one of the top three consulting firms?" So they simply said, we might be paying you a little bit less, but we get off at 6 every single day, and so
that's
in
it.
those
That's what we.
companies you will be probably working till 11 every single day, and
Mm,
that's so it just depends what do you value more. But for you, someone who's never worked, it doesn't really matter. I would say that, yeah, when I started off in consulting, I used to like do those late nights as well. It's part of the experience. So you sort of feel like, you've got the, how do you call it, the big type of brands that you wanted to work for. You get them under your
yeah,
belt. Yeah.
yeah,
Have you started applying for jobs then?
yeah. I have
Okay.
all the big threes, the big four,
Yeah.
of
And
course,
are you
and
here?
then
Have you heard
smaller
back
ones.
from any of them?
Not yet because the deadlines haven't passed yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
I haven't heard from them yet.
Right, right, right.
I don't think I'm that like really competitive because I've never worked before. Unlike some people who's got 7, 8 internships, I've got nothing. But I've got some experiences in FMCG, so that would be my biggest go-to.
Yeah. Yeah, FMCG is very big here. I remember I remember seeing at least two or three FMCG companies. Is there any
Mm.
particular field within FMCG that you're thinking of working in?
I'm thinking about going to luxury actually.
Oh, okay.
Luxury, yeah,
Okay,
because I worked at Harrods before, and I really like the not like the product because I worked in different brands, and I just think I'm pretty good at doing that.
yeah,
Like not just selling stuff, but I'm actually interested in how the brand build its recognition, build its reputation, and
right.
how the consumers' behavior is like in the luxury industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. And so how are you liking the course now? It's been over a month now, month and a half.
I think it was pretty fun. It's good. It's
Yeah.
not too stressful like the other courses, but we still learn stuff. I think
Yeah.
even though some courses are pretty basic for me, but then I'm starting to feel like the courses are getting to the level that I have never been before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you- like like it like the accounting and the finance ones, even though they're still kind of in the basic level, but for
Mm-hmm.
me, they are a little bit challenging now, but not too
Yeah.
much, you know. It's a good balance. It's a good level right now for me.
Yeah. Are you enjoying accounting and finance then? Accounting and economics.
I mean, I would say it's a bit challenging, but I'm definitely enjoy it.
All right. And what about the other ones? Do you have a favorite module yet? Like a lot of people loved the design thinking module so far and the personal innovation development module also.
I really like Sankop. I quite like organizational behavior.
Yeah. He's very charged up.
Very nice. I feel like every day I go to his class, it feels like meditation. Like, oh, can I say this?
He would be
Because
so happy to hear that though.
it's not like make you sleep, but makes you feel like, ooh, inspiring because he talks with such energetic voice.
Yeah,
Um,
he's very energetic.
yeah, it makes you feel like I'm so enthusiastic to listen to his voice. Every day is something new.
Yeah. No, no, he definitely works very hard to engage the entire class, and that shows. And that's why
Yeah.
everyone really enjoys. That's why if you remember all the alumni that come uh, to talk to us, they always speak so highly of him. They still remember. I have a friend who studied IEM in 2018. He passed out in 2019, and he still remembers
Uh,
Sankalp as being one of his favorite professors.
yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely a role model of IEM,
yeah.
Zenka.
And if you think about it, it's quite a commendable feat because he hardly had like what 10 lectures with us over the course of 5 weeks, 6 weeks. That's
Mhm.
hardly anything, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, we're basically done with OB and HRM, I think.
Yeah, we just finished OB and Econ today. Yeah.
Oh, those are our last lectures.
Yeah, that was the last Econ lecture as well today, the one we had today.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, I thought econ we would have more econ, so I'm quite interested to go into another level because right now it's at the right level for me. But then they finished. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I cannot learn more.
They finished at
That's
the
the
top.
level.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's a thing that I would like it to be better. Give like a bit harder, just a bit, push it a bit more because
No,
I've learned all the basics.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know if the focus of our program is as much on academics as the other things. I think it's designed to give you a lot of time to do other stuff and just outside of the classroom because
Mhm.
there's so much free time, isn't there?
Yeah,
Like we just have like two classes a day, I think, on average.
yeah, 4 hours a day, I would say. Yeah, that's it
Four
for me.
hours, 3 or 4 hours a day. And so yeah, I think this is a very they've designed it very intentionally that you go and do your entrepreneurial stuff, go and work out your business idea, or go and find out what kind of projects you want to work on. So that's good, isn't it? Are you
Yeah,
particularly where are you staying these days? Are you staying in the same place you used to be when you were in undergrad? Have you shifted out to be closer to Imperial?
yeah, yeah. I moved from Milan to Rose Court, so
That's
yeah,
good.
a big
Okay, that's very close to Imperial.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Nice. Um,
Mm.
is there anything else you wanted to talk about that we didn't cover on the podcast today?
Mm.
Is there
Oh,
anything
yeah.
else you'll be like, oh shit, I should have talked about that? Or something you wanted to say?
um, our course is very diverse in age, right?
In
I
age?
wanted to kind of, yeah,
Hmm.
mm, like not everyone's same age, at least from my observation.
Yeah.
Some are much older and some are still very young.
Hmm.
I wonder how we can learn from this difference in age and to like obviously there's a point for the school to put us in the same course. I put different age people in the same course. And
Hmm.
I was kind of interested to learn from you, like all the older cohort from your experience and how you think about this course. Is it like different from what we see it? Because since you've already worked.
Hmm. Uh, I guess you're asking me how what I feel about the course so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
also nervous about job searching or because you worked so you know a bit more about what you wanted to do. So your focus would be different maybe from us who are newbies looking for jobs.
oh yeah. I mean, so when I started thinking about job search, and I attended a few workshops here, and they all basically Imperial basically advised me to just keep talking to different companies for now and
Mm-hmm.
not actively to start applying for jobs, because if you have more than, let's say, 2 years of experience, they say you're going for a graduate scheme if you have less than 2 years of work experience. But if you have more than that, then you're basically going for what they call experienced hire roles. And for that,
Oh,
they basically said that you're supposed to fill up the vacancies just as and when they appear. So if you're applying now but you can't join the job till next year
yeah.
September, then there's no point really. So they basically said that you should just start conversations with different companies that you might be interested working in,
Yeah.
but at the same time don't actively start applying till maybe April or May next year, so about
Mm.
3 4 months before we graduate. um so yeah, that is a different type of nerve wracking for me, because for the next 4 5 months I'm basically not doing much on the job search front.
Mm.
uh but yeah, hopefully it'll all turn out well. I mean, everybody gets good jobs out of the program. That's been a historical trend.
Yeah. I have another question, which
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of us thought that coming to Imperial would boost our job security, would boost our job successfulness
Yeah.
because Imperial is very prestigious.
Yeah.
But when I apply, I actually feel like mm, maybe it's not that big of a difference. I don't know if you know what I mean. Because you are applying at such an early stage. So
Yeah.
obviously you have learned that much from your university because it's
Mm-hmm.
only been a month since uni started.
Yeah.
So technically you wouldn't have learned that much skills from Imperial, but you are already applying for jobs. That means you're still using the skill and knowledge that you acquired from your undergraduate university. So doesn't that make us not special? Is in a sense like we are not that
I would say the
competitive.
only thing that makes you special is that you got into Imperial, and after that, whatever you do in the next 1 year in terms of academics doesn't really matter that much. It's just the brand value of the college that gets your CV noticed. That's why. So you're right that technically speaking, you should be applying after you have, maybe spent like a half a year here, and you've really had time to learn something. But
Mm.
I would say that that's not what the industry wants. The companies would like to see an Imperial graduate because they are perceived as smarter than the rest of the graduates. And so having a MSc Innovation Entrepreneurship comes with a certain tag. And the assumption I would also say is that by the time you graduate, you would have gone through the entire year, you would have learned a lot of stuff. And so you don't necessarily need to interview at a later stage. So I
Yeah.
guess that's also um, having a proven track record, because Imperial alumni are practically everywhere, and so that's how the sort of brand and the trust starts building in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess this is what happens in different even Ivy League schools. Like my friends that are studying in universities in colleges like Wharton, Kellogg, they say the same stuff. They start applying for internships or jobs the moment they land there. Yeah.
But you're still the same. You
What? Sorry?
they landed. Oh, the moment they landed their job, then they're like,
The moment they landed in the college and they started
oh,
applying for jobs. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean. But they are still the same people
They're still the
before they
same
got
people.
into.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Like you're still your CV are the same. It
Yeah.
just you have a better school on your CV. That's it.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, that's what matters. So I guess that's what the companies want, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we're going deeper now. We're going into what does this capitalist society want?
What does
You
the,
basically
yeah. Yeah. But I think that's a discussion for another day.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, D. It was great chatting with you. Thank you for your time.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
You too.
All right. Have a good Friday and enjoy your wind sailing, kite surfing, wind sailing. What was it again?
Windsurfing. Yeah,
Wind surfing.
windsurfing.
All right. So it's I
Surfing is another thing.
yeah, I
Kite
properly mixed up
surfing
the
is
two
more
words. All right. Have fun on your trip tomorrow.